You didn't know? Yo ass better call somebody. Let's go, baby. The new age outlaws of the podcasting business coming to you live. Actually coming to you not live, coming to you live to tape from the Flow Studios, official Flow Studio production, the FloGrappling Show. As always, I'm your host, Trey Robinson. We got Joey Gilps over here. We got Uncle Reed right here. And then over on the ones and twos, we got Slack Barrett. What do you guys want to talk about today? You want to break down WWE Bad Blood from over the weekend?
Dude, honestly, I was such a huge New Age Outlaws fan. That was like one of my favorite. Those were like my favorite wrestlers growing up.
Number ones for you?
Kind of. Like Road Dogg, Jesse James, and the badass Billy Gunn. Like those two guys, anytime they were on TV, I had to be watching.
It was
like I didn't like Triple H and I didn't like Shawn Michaels, but I loved Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
You weren't into the Heartbreak Kid?
I didn't like Shawn Michaels when I was growing up. I thought he talked too much and like didn't like just sweet chin music people enough.
Oh,
but he because he was a little older when I was getting into it, and so like he would talk on the mic too much and stuff. So I didn't like that as much.
That also might have been when he had his broken back. And that probably was also why he was not like necessarily jumping in.
Yeah. But now I love the dudes who are good on the mic. Yeah. Like now I'm all about the guys who are good on the mic.
What year would that have been? Like 1997? Is that like when you would have started watching?
Somewhere around there.
But that's straight up. That was the Generation X, right? Whenever he kind of like stopped wrestling as much. Also, I can hear an echo. I don't know if there's any way we can make that not play. But there we go. But yeah, he was kicking up to Generation X, with the Road Dogg and all that. So that was a great time.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm a special case with WWE, where I did not watch as a kid, but I also
convert.
I was born in 1997, and so obviously I couldn't enjoy it. My frontal lobe wasn't developed enough for me to truly understand
could have enjoyed
the nuance.
I'm on level with you.
WWE.
You don't need the most developed
Yeah.
to really get what's going on.
Yeah. But then I within the last couple of years, I became a huge WWE fan. I went back, when Sears was here, me and Sears would go back and watch the old 1997 Attitude Era Raws, and they're absolutely electric. So anyone at home, who's looking for something exciting, between watching Jiu-Jitsu and whatnot, go turn on the 1997 Raw. Like, it's just turn on any episode from that year. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah, this is for sure a jiu-jitsu podcast, but The Rock came back this weekend at Bad Blood and was pretty sick.
The final boss. Yep, you had Dirty Dominic Mysterio just getting beat like a piñata by freaking Rhea Ripley.
Hanging from his ankle.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
It was electric. So anyway.
Joe, did you watch?
Yeah.
Bad Blood?
I did watch. Yeah, it was
Watch? Okay. You didn't love it?
It was okay.
Okay.
Joe's a purist, AEW guy over there.
I thought it was okay. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying
I actually missed the first match.
No, that was the best match of the show.
Was it really?
Hell in a
CM
Cell.
Punk,
Yeah, that was
Drew
that was a
McIntyre?
pretty good one. But then just like it was, it's a lot of WWE pay-per-views. You can put them on, and nothing is offensively bad, and maybe nothing's amazing, and it's just sort of on in the background, and that's a great time.
Well, let's change subjects then and talk about something that's always electric, okay? And that's Team Jiu-Jitsu. I don't know what it is, but for some reason Team Jiu-Jitsu is electric, I think the top tier of Team Jiu-Jitsu for me is obviously Quintet. Like, I think Quintet is one of the most fun things you can possibly watch. But now AIGA is kind of blowing up, kind of taking over the scene for the Team Jiu-Jitsu in the Team Jiu-Jitsu world, partly because they're just super active. There's a lot of events and stuff. They have this big $1 million prize this year. But before we get into that, I just want to ask you guys, why do you think Team Jiu-Jitsu is so fun? Like, why is it so sick to watch? Or if you don't think so, you can say that, but...
So I'll hop in here. I think Team Jiu-Jitsu is easy to understand in this, and I'm drawing some of this from like wrestling comparisons, is because it's really easy to latch onto a team and the bigger concept of a team. And maybe if you're a fan of one person, you're a fan of the team that they're on, and now suddenly it's easier to follow that. And so you have a lot of different interests coming together for one collective fan base. And it's easy to follow that over time. It's also just easy to follow the swings up and down of a team versus team event. Even if you don't know jiu-jitsu, okay, it's a 7-match series and they're 3-3. That really matters a lot, right? And so that can be just a really easy thing for fans as an entertainment product to understand. And I think that's a huge part in it.
What do you think, Reed?
I think it what jumped out to me first is Gio Martinez versus Haisam Rita. I feel like that really just kind of stamped Team Jiu-Jitsu as fun, especially for Quintet. And I think that really just made Quintet early on. But obviously I think it's just a lot of what Joe was saying is true. And I think just as Americans, we've just been conditioned to kind of team sports since we were children, you know, and like we just grew up in a high school team sports and college team sports, and we still kind of are into, you know, the NFL and the NHL and stuff like that. So I feel like it's just super easy for us to kind of just quickly understand what's going on here. Players on a team, they all go for it. It's badass. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just a way for some reason that like you just get matches that you wouldn't get if it was just a super fight show. You know, you get fun matches. Guys get a little bit more pride on the line when your teammates are right there watching you. You know, you have to kind of put the team on your back type of thing, like whatever it is. But for some reason, it just ups the ante a little bit, and it produces matches like Heisem versus Gio, and, you know, Fabricio versus, or who did Fabricio beat a whole bunch? AIGA.
I mean, I know the big controversial one was him versus Gerbeg.
Yeah.
The one with him and Gerbeg.
Oh, that's
right. Are you thinking of the Polaris?
That's right.
I
keep thinking of Polaris, that match.
Him and Bodoni and him and Livesey.
But it just makes for fun matches.
I'll add too, though, something that you're pointing out about the Gio example that's particularly unique in team jiu-jitsu is when you go and you watch an athlete that you like at a tournament, you kind of watch them and they win or they lose. And if they lose, it's over for them. With the team, people lose and then get to be avenged by their teammate following them up.
There you go.
So Gio beat Heisem after Heisem beat Boogie. That's what made that such a great... I mean, firstly, that Boogie is much larger than Gio, but Gio comes in, avenges the loss of the brother, right? And anytime you have a team, you get to see maybe somebody that you really expected to win, they get knocked out. Now you get to watch a couple more people coming behind them to try to pick up the score and kind of even it back up. Yeah,
there's kind of like a baked-in redemption arc, you know, for any sort of like team jiu-jitsu thing. It's also interesting because it's like team jiu-jitsu is, I mean, it's like wrestling, I guess, like a duel, where you are kind of still doing a one-on-one sporting event that then is umbrellaed under a team event, you know? So you get kind of the payoff of normal jiu-jitsu matches where it's just you're going to see Dante Leon go out there and compete against Jonathan Alves, which is sick. And then under that, now Dante goes back, cheers with his boys, and they're like, oh shit, all right, now Asai Republic's got to win this next one to stay in it. So I don't know, it's just very exciting elements whenever it becomes team. But let's go ahead and look at 10 kind of sick moments from this last year's AIGA. So AIGA really has kind of blown up, you know, it's kind of just came onto the scene and became one of the sickest. I don't know if they have it on the screen yet, so maybe pause it, Slack. But
yeah, I mean, obviously, AIGA, you know, what they started, I believe, in 2023. Was that when?
Yeah, I think they might have had a few events before that, but it first really kind of grew to prominence. The 2023 Champions League, and you know, these big events happening over in Kazakhstan. These guys are putting a lot of money, a lot of investment, a lot of energy into really blowing these events up, and it's worked. I thought they were one of the coolest new events that we saw in 2023. They have an incredible amount of grappling, and we've prepared this top 10 video of some of the crazy moments for people to take a look at. Here you can see Kolabate, and man, they just, for being so early, they really did get like so many big names.
Yeah, all the guys you want to see, right?
Yeah. I mean, Team Adolfo was obviously nuts in that last one. They ended up winning. I will also admit, like, there is just a cool aspect whenever you get to do like kind of what feels like a Team USA versus a Team Russia or something. You know?
Yeah.
So like for like this event specifically, like Universal Fighters was the Dagestan team, you know, or like one of them. And then which one was Team Khabib? Do you guys remember? Was that Universal Fighters?
Nurmagomedov.
I think that was Universal. Oh
no, it's like
Nurmagomedov.
They had their own.
Right.
They had their own kind of thing, yeah. And then Universal was a separate team.
Yeah, you know, we just saw Cole get a submission there. Always want to see Cole out there on the big mats, and just look how good like the event looks here. You know, they got the jib cam kind of floating over the mats, super well lit. That's always a big
really
thing.
Cool production, yeah.
Yeah. The production's always killer. They got the cool walkouts. They got the custom rash guards and stuff. So you know who's who.
Do you guys like the team uniform type of approach?
I think it's cool.
You're into that?
Yeah, there's so many opportunities for them to, you know, not wear team uniforms at so many other competitions. So, you know, I like this. That just kind of differentiates it just a little bit extra. Yep, Big Dan, so good at inverting on the legs, man.
It really is. This whole sequence, and the reason it was included is it really is just some of the best like big man pure jiu-jitsu.
It's
that we've
crazy.
seen in a minute. Just he transitioned from the arms to the legs to the other leg, back and forth. This was really kind of an awesome performance from Big Dan, who, like we mentioned, redemption-wise, was kind of coming in to redeem Luke, and we'll see a little bit more about that in the future. That guy, Anton, actually super duper tough, but just Big Dan on that next level, right?
For sure. Here you got Joseph Chen on, what's the name? Al Leon? He's on Team Al Leon.
Al Leon is like a clothing brand, out maybe a little bit more popular in Asia and Australia. But I feel like this is one of the first times that some people got to see Joseph Chen and get a good look at him, especially him, being able to pull off some of these awesome submissions. And this was a nasty Aoki lock that he's going to apply here. It was awesome seeing him getting to go against some of these people. And we saw a lot of folks that we ended up seeing a lot in the ADCC Asian trials, right? Like Kenta was in AIGA, Joseph Chen was in AIGA. I think both people who won at 66 were here. Isaac Michel was in here. There's a ton of people from that region where you were able to get a good read on them beforehand.
Yeah, AIGA also does a good job of kind of showing off that area of the world and their grappling and their grappling skills and stuff like that. A lot of these guys we don't get to see really ever. And in jiu-jitsu sometimes, you can kind of see the same athletes kind of over and over fighting on many different shows and stuff. So this one definitely injects like a lot of these new blood, new good guys. And a lot of them won, right? So a bunch of these Russian guys even did super well. So
AIGA is the first place. I mean, I saw Gerbeg. Ended up, competing against Fabricio, competing against a few of those guys, and then obviously he made it all the way to ADCC. Got a win on ADCC against Dorian, and then fought Owen Jones. But I guess that's like an aspect that AIGA brings to the jiu-jitsu world, like you were saying. Like it shows off kind of those grapplers in that area and stuff, like Russian, Dagestan grapplers. It's also really hard for those dudes to get a visa to like compete in a lot of U.S. stuff. Like I know Spey on the wrestling team, he's like a Dagestan expert, or so he calls himself. But like he did not think Gerbeg would be able to get a visa and stuff because he was just kind of breaking down how hard it is for them to get approved and everything. So I don't know. It's cool. This event kind of shines light on everybody. It also shines light on people like Andrew Tackett who go down to Brazil and clean up. This team dominated, right? This was Team Casai.
This was Team Casai. I think this is kind of one of the underrated storylines heading into the end of this year is that we have this Team Casai and Team Modolfo who are both going to be at the finals. That was Team Casai winning the Brazilian qualifier. I think they went like 20 for 21 in submissions, just absolutely mopped. And man, they have a lot of great talent. Fabricio Andre, I think, is on there. Pedro Mourinho, I'm pretty sure, is on there. Andrew Tackett. Potentially William Tackett.
Kynan was supposed to be, but I think he ended up not being able to make it, right?
Yeah, Dorian Oliveras, I think, was one of them. Junio Casio, great team. And here, I mentioned a little bit earlier, but this was a big upset, certainly at the time, and even now looking back, Luke getting his guard passed a bunch of times by Ruslan Abdullayev. It was kind of like a shocking performance from both guys, and it ended up being one of the deciding matches in this really climactic, dramatic Universal Fighters versus
look, they had this one specifically was intense. Like the teams were chippy back and forth. Like Modolfo was getting chippy.
Abdullayev hit like 3 like big celebrations at the end, right?
Yeah,
like,
this tournament in particular,
he did everything.
This one was a really fun one. Like when they had the Modolfo and the Allion and stuff, like Asai Republic. It was super long. These events are super long too, right? They're like 2 days. Like there's so many matches. Like sometimes you miss a couple and can go back and realize that Dante killed everybody, and you have to go back and watch a bunch of Dante matches or something. But
Jonathan actually had a good first round. So AIGA, if people aren't aware, is like a rounds based. It's 3 5-minute rounds. It's very MMA style, but it's kind of based off ADCC rules still. So there's like a no points period. Then there's points. But Jonata had won that first round, so Dante was like kind of on the ropes, and it was looking tough. And then Dante came out and just turned it up second round, and ends up getting the finish in the third round. What a total beast!
Crazy strength, man.
Dante's just one of the he is that dude, man.
You got that West Side barbell strength.
Crazy strength. You can't see it on him, but you can see it when he's mounting there. It's just like he can't even move his hips a centimeter off of him once he starts engaging.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because Dante does look strong, but he is so much stronger than he looks, I feel like.
Yeah, he might be like strongest pound for pound. I wonder what Dante pulls on the Ripper. What do you guys think Dante pulls?
Dante's top Ripper.
You think Dante's top Ripper?
I think he
I
breaks.
mean, no
the Ripper
offense,
for sure.
but like,
No way. Sorry, Dante.
What did Mika pull? Mika pulled like a 161.
He pulled a 160. So yeah,
160?
Yeah, that's fair. These guys.
I remember after Dante fought Mika, I think at Who's Number One, he like walked off the mat and he was like, that dude's not that strong. Okay, everyone talks about how strong Mika is, and that was just like the first thing I heard Dante say.
That's
He was
the
just
best
like,
thing.
Yeah, he was like, that dude's not that strong.
That's so funny. That's like the best thing to say to somebody in a role. You know how they say, wow, you're really strong. No. Say, wow, you're really not as strong as I thought you
And
were.
you should use your strength sometimes.
No, actually, I remember when I was rolling with Kyotera, he kept yelling at me to use my strength. And I was like, I'm trying to use my strength.
I am.
He was like, use your strength more. And I was like,
Dude, I'm really strong, Kyo.
Kyo, man, are you just maybe really used to?
yeah, I don't think it's helping me, Kyo.
Mason and Yuri and like your definition of strength is like just a little different.
Yo, will you fill us in on what's going on with the Fabricio match here?
Yeah, totally. So the Fabricio versus Gerbeg match ended up being like kind of one of the most controversial and dramatic and consequential matches of that entire first season because it meant that Universal Fighters ended up upsetting Team Adolfo. This was the third round. They were tied 1-1, and Gerbeg ends up, this is the very end of the round. It was very, very close. Could have gone either way, really. But they end up going with Gerbeg, and that gave Universal Fighters, this Russian team, the win over the big Brazilian-American all-star team, right? And it was an enormous upset. And I feel like that, because that was the first event that we streamed for AIGA, right? I'm pretty sure this happened on it. I feel like this really
big ones, anyway.
just helped blow it up so much as this giant upset, different style of these guys. It was really massive.
Team versus team dynamic.
Yeah. It's honestly kind of a gangster move from Fabricio. Like, I know that they were kind of wishing that Fabricio would pull guard, but the fact that Fabricio just like refused to pull guard against this Russian, who of course is going to be like, his strength is obviously wrestling, but the fact that like Fabricio was able to hang with him, you know, in the wrestling, I don't know. I'm not sure it warranted this type of celebration.
No,
to be honest.
Definitely not. I feel like if I remember this correctly, there's also a little bit of some controversy with some resets and some fleeing whenever.
Didn't he have him like in a fully locked out triangle?
And they reset. So I'm not gonna lie. All right, I guess I'll be the anti whatever Universal Fighters guy. I think that one was a little whack. I think Fabricio won that. And I don't like, because they did get mad at Fabricio. They were like, you should have pulled, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, nah, dude, Fabricio won it by not. And then just got screwed on a decision. Literally got screwed out of a fully locked triangle where the dude fled.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
two of our favorites here, of course. Like, you can't get bored watching Isaac do jiu-jitsu. You can't get bored watching Joseph Chen doing jiu-jitsu. Two of the brightest, most exciting guys on the come up, or they're pretty much arrived here at this point. But these dudes, just electric jiu-jitsu. So you knew this one was going to hit and was going to be fun.
100%. And if I could also point out something about the Universal Fighters Modolfo thing, Modolfo still won the quarterfinal. Because
they lost the quarterfinal, right? And then won the actual event.
No, they also won because they had more submissions. Every team
was
had lost
tied?
a match.
It was tied or something?
And so it was like tied on wins and losses, but they had more submissions. So they ended up being like the classification winners for that qualifying event.
Gotcha.
You wouldn't know it the way they were throwing Gerbeg up and down in the air.
Yeah.
But I feel like that deserves set.
Yeah.
Joseph and Isaac, there's just some of the crazy matches that you're seeing at AIGA. And this was a crazy one too. Kennedy versus Gabriel. This, I feel like Kennedy had been out for over a year, and we weren't really sure like how's he gonna look. He got his knee blown up by Pato at 2022.
Yeah, this was Kennedy's first like big like I'm back type of match.
This was him and
as far as I remember.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he was hurt from ADCC 2022, and then this was kind of like the first time you really saying you're like, okay, yeah, Kennedy's still got everything that he once had.
Kennedy spelled with an I just noticed on the score graphic.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, you just get sick matches at AIGA, you
100%.
just get fun matches for sure. Stuff you don't see too often.
This Asai Republic team was kind of sneaky good, but
yeah, Jonathan.
I think like Dom Mejia was on this team too, right? Or is that?
Yeah.
Wow, big win here for Kennedy.
Huge
there.
win, tapped out.
Sick.
Gabriel. Yeah, Gabriel just a total stud. Everybody knows, but this was
doing
Kennedy
Cobra.
announcing he was.
Let's do the Cobra.
Gotta be happy for him. That's a guy who lives and breathes it. And here you see, number one, got to put the guys winning the championship.
Giancarlo was like, nah, let's downplay it a little bit.
He doesn't get thrown into the air, I guess.
He's like, nah, you guys aren't throwing me into the air. See?
Big Dan Gunna.
There you go.
Giancarlo had a few sick submissions throughout this as well.
Awesome AIGA.
He was team captain.
Look at this crew.
Yeah, he was.
What an interesting crew here.
Lee Machado in the mix here.
Baby Shark.
Yeah.
That's
Big
actually
Dan.
something
Baby
I
Shark
will
Mika.
say,
We haven't even said Mika yet.
Something I do like about it is you have the teams where it's like, okay, everybody's representing Team 10th Planet, but then you get these super teams, which is kind of crazy to see all these people from different places, different teams, all on one team in a big group is really cool.
What is this crazy ass ad we're looking at on FloGrappling? What the hell is this shit? What kind of ads are we playing on FloGrappling? Dude, somebody cut it out. It was like somebody looking through an eyeball or something, bro.
Specialist.
Oh, I'm
Jesus
sorry.
Christ.
Do you not need a pipe specialist?
No. Yeah.
I didn't know we were allowed to get these kind of ads in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but that's like the thing is that we got a big AIGA event coming up here pretty soon, right?
Right, October 18th and 19th in Long Beach, California. This is the US qualifier. So they've kind of expanded from last year. They did a couple qualifiers, but it was kind of, I think it all happened in Kazakhstan as far as I remember. Now this one's kind of going a little more global this season for AIGA. They've already done one in Turkey. They've done one in Brazil. Now it's the time for the USA cats. And by USA cats, I mean a lot of the Brazilians who moved to America. And I'm kidding. There's a lot of Americans in there too. But, so there's a bunch of teams.
Yeah, we got the exclusive right. Nobody's seen this yet.
Exclusive.
Nikki, give us some breaking news.
All right,
music.
here we go, baby. This is Team 10th Planet, who headed by the man himself, Mr. Eddie Bravo.
Bravo, that's right.
Will be
Heard
coaching.
of him.
And then this is, I think, just a super sick team. Andy Varela, Kyle Chambers, Ryan Aiken, Ben Addy, Gio Martinez, Kevin Bierbeck, Chris Crawford. I'm not as familiar with, to be honest, but just this whole team up and down looks super, super sick.
Honestly, yeah, and I think it's like you got to talk about 10th Planet when you talk about Team Jiu-Jitsu, because I think 10th Planet really has been one of like the biggest teams to kind of forge forward in this team grappling, kind of world that we're in, and they've done such a good job. And this is an incredible team. Always fun to see Gio Martinez out there. Kyle Chambers, Ryan Aiken had a huge ADCC run there, obviously submitting Pedro Mourinho. So I think Ryan's, really, really hot. Kevin been in the game for a long, long time. So, he's got some slick jiu-jitsu. Andy, a fan favorite. He's another guy in that kind of doesn't have a boring match.
Do you guys follow along with Andy's bounties he sets on his Instagram at all?
Once in a while.
Just like his open mat bounties?
Yeah, he'll post and be like, Sunday open mat, $500 if you tap me, 1,000 or like 500 if you score on me, 1,000 if you tap me, stuff like that. He'll just randomly set bounties on himself ahead of his open mats. Kind of a crazy move, dude.
Yeah.
Kind of awesome. I mean, if I was like Roberto though,
Easy 500 just to score.
I wouldn't say it's easy, but like another Las Vegas guy, it's like I'd show up for that.
I need
shit.
$1,500. Let's go see if I can
Yeah.
make some money.
Serious open mat wars out of that.
For sure.
I'm not saying win, just score. Okay,
Yeah.
score.
I know it's like he always puts one on like getting subbed. Like if you submit him, it's like a big payday, which is such a gangster move to put a bounty on yourself. So anybody in the Austin, Texas open mat scene, dude, I want to make an official bounty. Now I'm playing.
What's the
Careful,
price?
bro.
If you let me tap. If you let me tap you 3 times in a row, I'll give you $20. How about that? The reverse bounty, dude.
All right, so 10th Planet, they got a killer team. They're definitely going to be one of the teams to beat here at AIGA, but let's keep running down the rest of the names
So
here.
we got Team Checkmat.
Team Checkmat.
Obviously, with AIGA, it's different than Quintet. If anybody's got that Quintet mindset still, this isn't like these people could face anybody. AIGA is straight up, you do just fight in your weight class. So these are each representative of all the weight classes we're going to see. They kind of do like a cool system of just like drawing what weight goes first for the matchup. So it's kind of, you don't know who's going to get sent out first or the order, but each person is going to be fighting each other. So obviously we know like we'll see Mateus Luna versus Andy Varela if they end up getting matched up.
Honestly, super sick match.
For sure. Yeah, but this is
Dory
another
versus Kyle Chambers, potential rematch from
wow,
WNO. That was kind
WNO
of a
rematch.
controversial match.
Yeah, very close match.
I know that everybody loved that decision. I think those guys will have a great rematch if they do end up meeting. Elder Cruz, always a total beast for Checkmat.
Who's the team manager here? Lucas Leitch?
Lucas Leitch, the Coyote.
Jackson Douglas is tough. Eduardo Granzado is going to be at the crown. He's very tough, like a rookie black belt. Igor placed third at South American trials. He's very tough. Rodney, very tough, been in the game for a long time. This is a tough team, man. Checkmat has had a really great year. Multiple IBJJF world champions. They have people at ADCC. They're always repping at the biggest events. Checkmat's going to be a lot to deal with.
Who we got next? Team Fight Sports, managed by Cyborg himself.
The man himself.
This one's I don't know as many of these guys, I'll be honest. Yeah. I know Cade Anastasios, he trains with Wagner. He trains with the Wagner squad.
Super good leg locker. He's the guy who tapped out.
Oh, that's the Cade. That's right.
Yeah, he tapped out John Blanc at ADCC East Coast Trials and had a great run there.
He had like the bleach blonde hair.
Yep,
Yeah, that's right.
Kind of like a mohawky.
Definitely was one of the guys who kind of surprised us, I feel like, at the trials.
100%. Joao Costa is definitely a veteran.
Yeah, Joao Costa fought ADCC 2022. I believe he lost to Craig Jones their first round, but
didn't have the longest run.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a lot of guys who had like decent ADCC runs are definitely on the come up, picked up a couple of wins, maybe made like the quarterfinals. Like Kiko Said, I know, is very tough. Victor Delibero was very tough at the South American trials. I remember seeing him tearing up a couple of matches. Franchione I've seen around.
Well, this is definitely kind of like new generation of fight sports. You know, we've for a long time we're so used to seeing Cyborg and Wagner. Obviously, those guys are still out there. You know, meddling at ADCC. But you know, you had Andre Porfirio there was representing fight sports. Mika was representing fight sports for a minute. But a lot of those newer names, it's kind of new generation of fight sports. So we'll see what those guys can do.
For sure. Then we got kind of another 10th Planet team, but not quite. Team Finishers, managed by Zach Maslany.
East Coast 10th Planet.
Yeah.
That's how I'm approaching this. And this is also a super sick team.
Even though Keith lives on the West Coast.
Keith is in the mix, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keith in the mix, Rene Souza in the mix, John Blanc, former top four at ADCC, Declan Moody, who's usually a B team guy, getting mixed up with Team Finishers. Very sick team.
Ray De Leon there, too. I remember watching him on Casai, the Casai days. He had a bunch of good matches on Casai, so it's been a minute since I've seen Ray De Leon. I believe he opened a gym in the New York area there. But always pumped to see Rene, of course, do his thing. Haven't seen Rene in a little bit since the Brazilian trials.
Yeah.
Yeah, he blew his
Coast. He didn't compete at West Coast.
He didn't do West Coast. He blew his knee up at the second trials
in
Brazil, and I think he's been taking some time off for that.
So that's good. We'll see what kind of developments Rene has made, and then John Blanc as well. I feel like we don't see enough of John Blanc. He's a exciting,
all the way up at 91, by the way.
True, big boy. But I would love to see more of John Blanc out there. He's a fun, just kind of quiet, gentle giant that can rip your leg off.
All these guys are obviously super sick. I really am excited to see how Declan Moody does. At ADCC, he ended up fighting Kynan twice, right?
Yeah,
he got submitted by Kynan twice. That's just horrible. You're running into a guy who's having one of the best tournaments of his life. But for how good he looked at WNO, and you listen to this guy talk, he says he can pass any guard in the world. He's very confident in his top game. I'm really excited to see how well he does because his back takes are awesome. He finishes really well. He's, strong. He used to fight much lower, so I feel like his jiu-jitsu is a lot more active than a lot of the kind of like big lumbering heavyweights.
Do we know how old Declan is? I'm curious.
So I could believe that Declan is anywhere from 23 to 45.
Yeah.
It is hard to tell.
Get that Google, Slack. You got
I'm curious
over there?
Curious how old Declan Moody is, because I do feel like the next 2 years for Declan could be kind of really, really big, and he could really arrive on the scene and really start taking some names home with him.
Age 27?
27.
My dog.
Big dog,
Yeah,
big dog.
so that's perfect age, right? That's kind of like prime. I feel like.
Hey, look up.
That's little Declan. I remember Declan as a 77 guy there.
School.
Look up Taylor Pearman.
Now he's huge.
Yeah, look up Taylor Pearman on.
We've done this, haven't we?
Well, I don't think we pulled it up.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes Smooth Comp will. You might just need to go to Google and be like Taylor Pearman Smooth Comp. Yeah. Sometimes you are allowed to upload your own image.
There he is. There's Taylor Pearman.
That's a great photo.
What a
Just
legend.
doing Taylor Pearman dirty here.
What a legend. Shout out Taylor Pearman.
ADCC vet, trials champ. Taylor Pearman, super tough guy.
Team.
All right.
What other team do we have?
Yep.
Legion.
Right?
We got more
We got
teams.
Team Legion here too.
Love to see Legion on the big stage.
This is an interesting team for sure. Obviously, I think there's like 4 names that specifically stand out. Bobby Winter, Sloan Climber, and Brailer. But then Maximilian Schneider, that's one judoka. I always see him on social media.
Big shout out to Max. He's one of J-Flow's main ukes. See him in most of J-Flow's instructional videos. Shouts out to J-Flow, repping the J-Flow Grappling Academy.
Oh,
See if we
shit.
can get that up on the feed.
The J-Flow Grappling Academy.
We'll
But no, Max is a great guy. Super, super creative. Really, really talented.
Showed off, Slack.
Really
showed
talented grappler. Shouts out to Maximilian. But I'm excited to see him compete. I've never seen him compete before, so be kind of fun to see how he holds it down. I know he's always at all the J-Flow sessions at Legion, so kind of see how he does throwing his name in the mix.
I think out of these dudes, might be most excited to see Bobby Winter. I'm a bit of a Bobby Winter fan. He's like a MMA guy now, obviously more focused on MMA, but those dudes also just love to scrap, and I always think it's fun whenever they get in the mix. So I think he'll be exciting.
He trains a lot with PJ.
Yeah, Sloan and Brailer both obviously going to be super, super sick to watch. Do you guys know much? I don't know a lot about Aiden Collins and Too Dang, I'll be honest, but
I'm not familiar with him. Tyler Brown, I feel like.
But I will soon enough. That's for sure.
Well, that is such a great part of this.
Rodney Barbosa.
Yeah, these guys are going to have chances to go out there and make themselves known, and I think that's a cool part of this like big team versus big team event is like you have some of these guys are really big names who are kind of anchoring the team, but then they have kind of those junior members coming along who are going to get an opportunity based off of that.
I want to count those guys out too, because I know that Miha, who's the manager coach of this team, he put this team together in like 24 hours. He just posted on his story one day and he said, in the next couple hours, if you're interested in doing this, hit me up. So that means that some of these people that we might not be familiar with are people that just stepped up on the spot that were like, I'm ready, I stay ready. And so we'll get to see if they get to have a moment.
So Miha is the manager?
Miha is the manager and coach, yeah.
Where is Keenan Cornelius?
Dude, where's
Keenan?
I just saw Legion posted that they're doing a Keenan Cornelius seminar. And I literally, when I saw it, it's like free for members, I think like $100 for non-members. I think it's in November. I'm not sure. But when I saw it, I was like, dude, I might fly to San Diego and do this Keenan seminar.
Yeah.
Like any chance to like Keenan in the mix? I think it's like it's like the modern open guard or something. Cool. I was like, bro, I don't know what Keenan's been working on in the lab where he just now is like, I should do a seminar out of nowhere on the modern open guard. But I was like, I kind of want to go to this, dude. Like, I bet it's going to be awesome. So definitely miss Keenan being
absolutely. We were spoiled for many years there, having Keenan at the forefront and just innovating and giving his 2 cents on all the kind of grappling topics coming up. And I just feel like I haven't seen too much of him recently. So always a big fan of Keenan Cornelius. We need Keenan back in the mix.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
Catch him sometime. Just go to J-Flow's afternoon session. You'll see him wrestling with Ian Daub.
We tried.
He's up there. He's just
we
out
tried.
there
Keenan ditched us.
Yeah, but no worries. We'll have to get there next time. Maybe we'll go to the Keenan Cornelius seminar.
I kind of want to go, dude. But yeah, so that's you brought up Keenan, and that's like the most recent thing. I literally just thought I haven't seen anything with Keenan in a long time. I saw he was working a new like position called the rabbit hole for a little bit. But then I kind of quit seeing that, and then boom, I just see the modern open guard seminar drop, and I'm like, damn, all right, what's Keenan doing?
Yeah, I wonder what that dude's up to.
What's the date of that seminar?
I'm not sure. It's November something, or October, November, something like that. But all right, is this our last team? Team Vanguard? 6 teams.
This might be my favorite team, to be honest.
6 teams is a weird number of teams. I'll be honest, but
I'm still not convinced that we're not going to get maybe like 1 or 2 more teams.
Yeah,
like an Atos team or something. I feel like there was at least some talk of that. But regardless, even if we only have 6, we have a awesome list. And this is a really cool team.
It's a great team.
Why is this your favorite team, Reed?
I don't know. This has got some fun grapplers on it. I always like watching Fabian. I think Nick Ronan is definitely kind of underrated. Jason Rao, I feel like is I don't know, maybe well rated, but I feel like we've just never
still underrated. Maybe?
Yeah, we just have never quite seen that breakout moment from Jason Rao. And I think if you've watched Jason over the years, if you've trained with him, like you just kind of know that he's like primed to have incredible matches. And then obviously Josh Saunders. I think we watched a lot of Josh Saunders this last couple months at ADCC at Who's Number One and stuff like that, and have just become huge fans of the Australian Josh Saunders. So this is just a fun. And Josh Calistine has kind of been in the game for a long time. Like his game a lot.
Yeah, I also think Sean Yadamarco is kind of like one of those dudes still trying to just break through, on like a major stage. So this is like a good balanced mix of like all these guys are exciting, some established dudes, some like trying to break through dudes, and I feel like that creates a good dynamic inside the team. So
like John Calistine versus Gio Martinez. Is Gio the 65?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty pretty
sick match.
That's a pretty good match.
100%. Shout out Baby Dave, also on the team.
Is there a number one best matchup you guys can think of? It's hard to piece them all
I would
together.
have to like see him across the thing, you know what I mean? Feel like there's a couple. Yeah, Slack. If you like click through them. John Blanc versus Jason Rao is going to be sick. Kyle Chambers versus
Ryan Aiken versus
Renee.
Ryan Aiken versus Blanc is a pretty
that's pretty cool.
But I guess they're both 10th planets. I don't know if they've trained together. Dory.
I feel like 83 is going to be the best weight. Renee, Bobby Winther is going to be super tough there.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Yadamarco. So 83 is probably for me the weight to watch. But I think that we're going to see a lot of just fun matches throughout every single weight class. And here's the great part. I really couldn't tell you what team is going to come out of this as the top dogs. I think there's a lot to like about a lot of these teams.
For sure.
I don't know how I would handicap it. And I think, man, maybe the 10th Planet team, just because when I see 10th Planet
stacked,
they're stacked. And when I see 10th Planet compete, they really do seem to like all move together. You know what I mean? Like all these teams are teams. They all train together. They're all very, very close. But that 10th Planet team, you see them, come to the mat. It's so intense, so passionate. They're really riding for each other. It's a cool thing to see.
I think they do have a little bit of that uniqueness in sense that they really do represent the same flag. Like they take that pretty seriously. They got Eddie Bravo coaching them, and they all come with a certain level of passion for being on the same team that they really, and a lot of these guys do end up in the same rooms together a lot. So there is definitely like a team mentality there. For
sure. Yeah. I think out of all the teams, 10th Planet's the most kind of die hard, freaking 10p baby. Throw up what you know. So everybody throw up the 10s. Do whatever your variation is. That's right.
No fists.
Well, that's not 10. That's not
10 fingers. If you could throw 10 fingers, I can throw them up in a fist.
Okay, fair enough. That's the cool thing about 10th Planet. Yeah, you get to do it however you want.
You do this.
You look back at the old 10th Planet Oceanside class photos, you'll see me there with 2 fists.
Oh, shit. All right. Damn, dude. All right, Slag, didn't know you were hardcore like that, brother.
Hell yeah.
I've been rocking the one fist a lot more recently.
For sure. Old school.
One fist is cool. Or like the low fist, just kind of like didn't even need to raise them up.
I've been doing the Fabricio Mantis.
The Mantis.
The Finn Balor there, where he always does this,
I can't pull off a lot of what Finn Balor pulls off.
All right, so obviously that's going to be sick, so check it out. AIGA, October 18th and 19th. I think it's on that graphic. It says 18th through 20th, so who knows?
I think 18th is the weigh-ins.
18th will be the weigh-ins.
Okay.
Press conference, so definitely, tune in for that. And
gotcha.
See everybody getting ready.
All right, cool. But before we go, all right, we got some official rips that have been submitted, baby. Some official big dog rippers. And now listen, here's the thing that I realized after issuing this open challenge to everybody. People with little grippies probably aren't going to submit. It's probably only going to be freaking just big old hosses in the mix. But this first rip, we got Lance Moore here. Let me. I want to pull this up.
Where's Lance from?
Lance, he hit me up and he said, I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to pull it up. Lance said that he's the head men's wrestling coach at Maine Maritime Academy. It's they're a first-year program going NCAA for the first time this fall. So shout out Lance Moore, the Maine Maritime Academy. What do you know about that, Reed? Rhode Island.
But I'm about to start following him, though.
Let's see what he's...
All right.
Official rip right there.
He went down, too.
Yep.
What's his official rip?
185.6.
185.6.
185.6. Reed could never, dude. Reed can't touch the 180s, bro. Reed's acted like he's the big dog for too long.
Are you kidding me?
See, this looks like one of those ones where it's like actually kind of hard to put up numbers too. Like they over the weekend they had the UFC people do them, and they had one that looked very similar to this, and all those people were putting up little grippies.
I don't know
numbers.
I'm not sold on that yet because CP was trying to tell me that different machines pull different things. It's pounds though. A pound's a pound.
That's what I also thought. But
in
like,
America,
I don't know.
a pound is a pound.
That's right, brother. Where I'm
Do we have to get different
we're gonna count this. I mean,
Yeah. No.
Now,
I don't know if we should count it.
pause this.
Yeah, Reed's putting in a challenge.
Now, this next one, this guy does have a different form of ripper, I'll be honest, but it seems close enough. Now, this is Rodrigo Maciel. He submitted this one, and Reed, I think you're going to want to look away for this one. If you didn't like Lance Moore hitting a 185.6, I don't know if you're going to like what
All right, shout out. Is he wearing like the old school Storm rash guard or like what is this?
I don't know, I can't tell.
We're going to let it rip.
Kinda?
Is he saying something? Is he calling me out?
He was saying something about the FloGrappling challenge.
Here we go.
Let's take the FloGrappling.
Okay, see, everybody goes down.
Everybody goes down with it. That's like
Trying to engage the tricep or
Just feels natural.
191.6.
beast.
191.6, dude. All right, everybody,
What's his name again?
let's give
Rodrigo?
Rita a minute here. Rita, you can have an official response to these two guys. You're just absolutely trashy. All right, go ahead.
Beasts, bro. Absolute beasts. You know, like
What do you want? That's what you get.
Are you disappointed?
I'm a little. You know, I don't know what to say.
Does it hurt
here.
more like physically or emotionally?
I guess you're really putting me on the spot here.
Well, it's just
congratulations to those guys, but
you've kind of just lived as top ripper for so long now.
it's been
you know?
good.
And
really good.
And so for the FloGrappling Show, it's its own leaderboard, but we do have the Grippers League here, which is a Flow Sports company league, and Rita is still top ripper,
Thank
and
you.
he has been
Thank
for
you
a
for
long
recognizing
time.
that.
Ripper.
But
Thank you for recognizing
But
that.
as now the FloGrappling Show leaderboard expands, you've dropped to third, a place that I don't know if you've ever seen yourself before.
No,
Which
it
is
doesn't.
third out of 3,
Hey,
which is last.
This
Yeah,
is,
you are
This is all in
currently-
good fun, guys. You know, this is just the boys having some fun. You know, just kind of
we're easing into loser talk. Okay,
Just denial.
No. I haven't quite put my official rip into
That's
the
true.
Flow
That's
Grappling
true.
Show
Yeah, okay.
yet. So
You want to do one right now?
would you describe yourself
No,
as more devastated or
I'll
distraught?
I'll record my own video and send it in.
Okay.
That's a good
You know, just as all the other guys are, and you know, I'll get one of those like one of
see
these
that.
kind of suspect grippers that everybody else seems to be getting as well.
I'll do an official rip right now, and I'll resubmit myself as a top ripper right now, dude. I'm not scared of
I don't
anything.
remember what it was
You got to
called.
stand
but-
up though.
Let's go.
Flow Grappling.
115, I'm washed. I'm washed.
I don't even
dude.
know if
I might have to
that's
retire.
anything.
Let's shout out, if I may, Nikki. Let me get this. Shout out to Nikki, our producer, Pretty Nikki.
True.
That's not his nickname. His nickname is Sticky Nicky.
Sticky Nikki, for being on the top 10 of the Flow Sports leaderboard. I forget where he was. He used to be third for a long time, but now he's dropped down a little bit.
I think he's
No, I think
third.
he is.
He is
Yeah, he
third?
was second
He
for.
is-
He was
yeah.
right behind me for a long time.
All right, top 3 Nikki. No, I think
That's right. You did overtake me. That's right. And then I had to.
former top ripper.
So this is what happens. You know, it's like I just haven't had to rise to the occasion yet because literally it's been 3 weeks and I've just been sitting on the top #1 spot. So like, why improve my score? Why rip again? Now you got Rodrigo and Lance out here throwing big numbers at me, and I'll have to respond. We'll see next week.
I'm not even sure if Lance is a fan of the show, to be honest. He said a friend told him he should submit to this. And I was like, oh, damn.
Well, he's a new fan now.
yeah, new fan, of course.
We're gonna be pumping up the main maritime schedule here.
The main Maritime Academy, dude, we'll be watching, okay? And
First year
you better
NCAA?
get,
This
listen,
strong.
you better get them boys wrestling as well as you're pulling grips. I'll say that right now, all right? If they're hitting the rice bucket like you and getting ready to go, then I think this team's going to be good this year, and I'm a big fan of the main Maritime Academy.
How's Lance's Barambolo though?
Good
You know,
point.
like does Lance have a sick Barambolo or?
Yeah, can he apply the grips?
True.
Fair
enough.
You know, that's-
What is the
Let us know.
main Maritime Academy like? Can you tell us, like, are they D3 or D2? Because I'll make them my official D3 wrestling team for this show.
Yeah, I have no idea. What's Slack finding there on the interwebs?
I have no idea if this is accurate.
It's funny how these things have
never
just
mind.
like taken over, you know, kind of social media these last several weeks here though.
All right, big shout out to
You
the
are
boys.
you are kind of like seeing it all over.
Yeah, you see it everywhere.
UFC 307, they just all did them. Honestly, some pitiful scores.
horrible scores.
For the Grippers League, our office league, I think only Alex Pereira and Khalil Roundtree would have been on the top 10.
What did Alex Pereira get?
A 160 or something.
163, something like that.
Sick.
So you crushed him. You would technically
Alex,
beat
no, hey, Alex
Pereira in a
Alex
fight.
Pereira is pretty strong. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
That's a classic great thing to say. He is pretty
He's
strong.
a strong guy. Yeah,
Just not quite as strong as old
not
Reed.
as strong as me, but you know.
All right. You guys got anything else to say before we go hit the rice bucket?
Give us some more submissions. I want to see some 190s. How did we get no more? Oh wait, Rodrigo
did, yeah, 191.
Okay, all right.
I'll create an official leaderboard graphic. We'll put it up before next episode. But yeah, we need some more submissions.
Send us some more submissions.
I'll throw one out there. Good luck to Cody Steele, Dana White Contender Series.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow.
Sick.
Taking his shot. Obviously, it was supposed to come out, do his thing already. That got messed up. But, he's just going to take care of business tomorrow. We're super excited to watch Cody just absolutely maul somebody. Actually, who's the guy he's fighting?
Actually, I'm going to
Jason
chime
Blair.
in too and say shout out to Chase and Blair.
Yo, yeah, Chase
Jason Blair too. He's a tough guy, a good grappler, representing Studio 540 and other jiu-jitsu people in the world. So, yeah, it's going to be a great
Yeah, that's a sick fight. That's a super sick fight.
All right, there you guys have it. Thanks for tuning in to the FloGrappling Show. Go ahead and submit your videos now if you think you could be a top ripper on this show. But, the competition's stiff. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Oh, 114 for Reed.